Today, we are diving deep into one of the most powerful and influential tragedies ever written, William Shakespeare's Hamlet. It's a timeless story of murder, madness, and the absolutely crushing weight of revenge. So let me ask you something. Just imagine for a second. The ghost of your own father appears to you, but he's not there to offer comfort. He's there with a terrifying demand. You have to avenge his murder. Seriously, what would you do? That heart-stopping dilemma is what this entire story is built on.
So that question kicks off what is basically a tragic detective story. We're setting the scene at Elsinore Castle in Denmark, and let me tell you, the place is cold, paranoid, and politically tense. There is definitely something rotten going on here.
To really get the drama, you've got to know the players. And it is a tangled web. You've got Hamlet, our hero, who's this incredibly smart but grief-stricken prince. Then there's his uncle, Claudius, who wasted no time at all taking the throne. Hamlet's mother, Gertrude, married her dead husband's brother, which to Hamlet is just way too fast. And then, of course, there's the ghost, the one who's about to light the fuse on all this chaos. And this is where the story just explodes. The ghost of the old king shows up and drops an absolute bombshell on his son. He didn't die from natural causes like everyone thinks. No, he was murdered. Poison poured right into his ear while he was sleeping. And the killer? None other than his own brother, Claudius.
And the ghost does not mince words. He says, "The serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown." I mean, there's no room for doubt there. He's basically saying, the snake who killed me is now the king. The accusation is crystal clear, and the mission is revenge.
Okay, so Hamlet has his mission. But think about it. How does a prince just go up and accuse a sitting king of murder and expect to live to tell the tale? He can't. He needs proof, and he needs a plan. His solution? He's going to pretend to be completely insane. He'll create this mask of madness to hide behind while he figures out how to expose the truth.
This brings us to one of the biggest ideas in the whole play, appearance versus reality. On the surface, Hamlet puts on what he calls an antic disposition. He acts totally bizarre, he says crazy things, he's even incredibly cruel to the woman he loves, Ophelia. But underneath that mask, he is laser-focused, calculating every move and plotting how to bring his uncle's crime into the light.
So how's he going to prove the ghost wasn't just, a bad dream? Well, his plan is absolutely brilliant. He finds out a group of actors is visiting the castle, and he arranges for them to perform a play for the king and queen. He calls it The Mousetrap. And the plot of this little play is going to look suspiciously like the murder of his father. He's literally going to stage the crime right in front of the criminal. And it works. It works perfectly. The actors get to the scene with the poison, and Claudius just leaps to his feet. He can't take it. He's completely overcome with guilt and rage and storms out of the room. And for Hamlet, that's it. That's the smoking gun. He now knows, beyond any doubt, that his uncle is guilty. But, proving the crime is one thing. Actually getting justice is something else entirely. And this is the point where Hamlet's whole quest for revenge just starts to spiral out of control, causing this tragic unraveling for pretty much everyone at Elsinore. It really all begins with one fatal mistake. Hamlet is in a super tense argument with his mother, and he hears someone hiding behind a curtain. He thinks it has to be Claudius spying on him, so he draws his sword and stabs right through the fabric. But it's not Claudius. He's killed an innocent man, Polonius, and that one act sets off a devastating chain reaction. Polonius's daughter Ophelia is driven mad with grief and ends up drowning, and her brother, Laertes, comes storming back to Denmark, burning for revenge against, you guessed it, Hamlet.
So this brings us to the bloody finale. Claudius, ever the schemer, sees a perfect opportunity here to get rid of Hamlet for good. He takes all of Laertes' rage and manipulates him, proposing a friendly duel that is actually designed to be 100% lethal.
Claudius leaves absolutely nothing to chance. His plot is a trap with multiple layers. So it's going to be a public duel. Laertes' sword will not only be sharpened, but its tip will be coated in a deadly poison. And then, just in case that fails, Claudius will have a cup of poisoned wine ready to offer Hamlet when he gets thirsty. And this is where the entire royal court just collapses in a matter of minutes. It's so fast. First, Queen Gertrude, Hamlet's mom, has no idea the wine is poisoned and drinks it. She dies. Then Laertes manages to wound Hamlet with the poisoned sword, but in the scuffle they swap swords, and Hamlet wounds Laertes with the same poisoned blade. As he's dying, Laertes confesses everything. Enraged, Hamlet finally gets his revenge, killing Claudius just before he himself dies from the poison.
So, a 400-year-old play ending in a pile of bodies, why are we still so obsessed with it? Because underneath all the sword fights and the ghosts, Hamlet is wrestling with these massive, profound questions that we are still asking ourselves today.
It's all captured in what is probably the most famous line in all of literature. To be or not to be? That is the question. And this isn't just a question about suicide. It's so much deeper. It's this philosophical debate about life and death and suffering. It's about that paralyzing difficulty of trying to take action and do the right thing in a world that feels corrupt and uncertain.
The play's real power comes from its themes, which just never get old. It forces you to think about the moral weight of revenge versus justice. It makes you question the fine line between sanity and madness. It's a constant battle between what seems real and what truly is. And it explores the devastating pain of betrayal, and, of course, that universal struggle with life and death itself.
So ultimately, Hamlet is way more than just a simple revenge story. It is one of literature's deepest dives into the human mind. It's about grappling with the incredible burden of our choices and revealing the devastating, often personal cost of trying to get justice. Which leaves us with the play's central, haunting question, the one that really echoes long after the final scene is over. Is revenge ever truly worth the cost?